Hooray. Alright, so tonight I'm going to be talking about Ironman, and we're going to start by watching a clip of him. So he sounds pretty awesome, right?
And he looks good too.
He does look good.
He sings.
He what?
He sings. He's a really good singer.
Okay.
Alright, so Robert Downey Jr. is actually a hero. That's what it is.
Okay, so that is Tony Stark in a nutshell. Kind of. Just so I know, is there anybody in here who doesn't like Tony Stark?
Neil.
Well said, Neil. And actually, I kind of agree with you.
But he has money, so it's okay.
Yes, money just makes everything okay, totally.
Okay, go home.
Okay, so obviously, Stark is no Superman, right? But he's still pretty awesome, you know, weapons maker, patriot, if you want to go there. But, you know, he's only human, so now we're going to see the other side of Tony Stark.
I knew it.
No!
Neil, was he condescending enough for you? Well, that's probably because the really condescending ones weren't really appropriate. I mean, personally, for me, I just saw him mouth off to a reporter, a senator, and Loki, who, incidentally, is probably one of my favorite supervillains of all time.
Yes.
No! Wait, I will fix it.
You broke it, Mike. He's like, he got it.
Sorry.
I heard it. I'm ignoring it. So anyway, yeah, I can't really say that I'm the same kind of fan of Tony Stark that Brian is of Superman. Yeah, he's never made me cry. But, you know, I've been close. So anyway, yeah, and he talks about this laundry list of defects. I mean, he's condescending, he's arrogant, he's completely egocentric, he's a total spoiled brat, let's be honest. And he's really inconsistent. Like in the first movie, he decides he's gonna be responsible, and in the second one, he goes back to being a party animal. So, what makes this guy a superhero? Well, let's start with the suit. I mean, he'd be kind of dead without this, right? Like, he wouldn't have made it through the first 5 minutes of his own movie. But you know, just making the suit doesn't automatically make him a superhero, because there are, at my count, 3 other guys who wore similar suits, and we still say this guy is the superhero. Well, I don't know, maybe that might have had something to do with the fact that 2 of those guys were trying to kill him and destroy the planet. And I just don't like Rhodey because he stole one of the suits, and I'm very protective of the main characters, so. Okay, so I'm switching sides now. So I just pointed out all of his flaws. Now I'm going to tell you why I like him. The first one is his sarcasm. Sarcasm is fun. That's also why I like Loki, because he's really sarcastic. Number 2 is he's brilliant. Not going to lie, brains impress me. If I met this guy, I would probably never stop asking him questions. Probably just to prove that he's actually as smart as he pretends he is. And number 3 is he is not perfect. And, you know, I saw him blow up his workspace thing multiple times. You know, he's gotten shot. What else has he done? Neil, what else has he done?
He's almost killed his girlfriend.
He has almost killed his girlfriend. Multiple times. He almost got her blown up. That was fun. I forgot to put this clip in there, but he catapulted himself into the ceiling in the first movie. He killed all his cars, yeah. I mean, he's human, beyond a shadow of a doubt, and I think that makes him a little more realistic than, say, Superman. Because I don't see me meeting a Superman. I can see me meeting somebody like Iron Man. Anyway, so you could go back and forth and argue between the 2 sides. Neil probably wouldn't be arguing, because we all know what Neil thinks. Yes. I could argue both sides, and actually I think that makes him a really good character. But that still doesn't answer the question of why he's a superhero. And I think this clip actually could show it way better than I could tell it. So. Okay, so he didn't die.
Yay.
But that's beside the point. So yeah, when I said that Iron Man made me close to crying, this is the scene that I meant. This is as close as I ever got. Although I did cry at the end of Sherlock Holmes 2 when I thought he died, but that was because he was Sherlock Holmes. Anyway, so up until this moment, Tony Stark has ultimately been looking out for himself. The first two movies were pretty much all about him. America wasn't really in danger, it was just him trying to not die. And this is the first time that we really see him trying to do something to save many people, people that he has never met, probably never will meet. And I think that's what really makes a superhero is sacrifice. So, I went to dictionary.com and I got the definition of sacrifice, which is the surrender or destruction of something prized or desirable for the sake of something considered as having a higher or more pressing claim. That was really wordy. I actually looked up at like 3 different sites and this was still the best. So basically what it means is you give something up, time, energy, money, in this case, his life, in order to serve a higher purpose. So, this is youth group, and I have to talk about Jesus while I'm up here. Just kidding, I like talking about Jesus. So, and I was trying to come up with a connection between Tony Stark and Jesus, and I wasn't having much success, probably because Tony Stark is a condescending prick. And Jesus is the opposite. So I couldn't. And I actually have Jen to thank for drawing this connection. And that is that they were both willing to make that ultimate sacrifice. Now obviously, Tony Stark did not die and come back to life, although that would have been pretty cool. Yeah. So there is a verse in Luke 14 where Jesus says to his followers, "If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, and yes, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not bear his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple." So Jesus is basically telling us that as Christians, we are called to sacrifice. And it's a huge part of our faith. We are supposed to live this every day. Some people might say it's our calling to be willing to give up our stuff, our time, money, energy, what have you. And we have stories of superheroes who do all of that and much more. But sometimes I wonder if maybe God isn't calling us to be superheroes ourselves. I mean, hopefully none of us will ever be put in a situation where we have to save the world, because personally I think that would be a little stressful. And I obviously will never be Iron Man, so Jen will be Iron Man.
Iron Man.
You know, but just because we're not these big superheroes, it doesn't mean that it's not worth the sacrifices. There are superheroes in all of our lives. And in fact, this room is full of them. We're here to help each other through our own problems, and then Jesus is there ultimately to save us. And that's what it means to be a superhero. So yes, while Tony Stark is not your ideal, Neil, he does ultimately, in my opinion, qualify as a superhero. And yeah. So, wait.
There's more.
There is more, actually.
Good.
Found it. So, you know, we don't have to put ourselves in danger. We don't have to go out and, fight terrorists or whatever to be superheroes. We can be superheroes in our own lives by, being there for our friends, helping each other, carrying each other's burdens. And it's important. It really is. So, God will forgive us when we're being condescending to each other. We can work past that, and we can end up lost my place again. I'm really tired right now, can you tell?
It's all good, we all want her.
So basically, the point is we can be superheroes without being Iron Man, although that would be pretty cool. So, yeah. So the band can come on back up, and you guys can all have a really good week.
You too.
Thank you.